soul I and I. It's upon the soul as a fire and I, the people. Yeah, man. The voice of the people is the voice of Almighty. Oh, we have said judgment still in on loot and fire. Me see it crystal clear. Them sell the people in a deep.
Hi, this is Ryan from Disruptarian Radio. Find me at disruptarian.com and also at electryan.org. I'll clarify the electryan.org thing at the end of this. There is a caveat to that. It is not a campaign, just so you know. Now, first of all, the thing that I wanted to correct, because I was invited to the UH Board of Regents to present information on my recent video called IMUA TMT, How to Move Forward with Building the 30-Meter Telescope, where I propose that we are unjustifiably paying OHA and DHHL tens of $millions a year out of state general funds and also federal dollars. Tens of millions of dollars just out of state general funds that all taxpayers contribute to, and then also tens of millions of dollars out of federal funds that all United States taxpayers contribute to for the benefit of apparently just one particular racial ethnicity. Not only does this seem to contrast or possibly even defy the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, to me it seems immoral, if not illegal, for all taxpayers to have to pay for the benefits of a particular genetic group that only they get the benefits for, it seems like. That seems to totally defy the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. But beyond that, I talked about, the compensation given to the DHHL, Department of Hawaiian Homelands, for lands used by state highways and roads and other uses, possibly airports and things, to DHHL from the taxpayers' general fund. The compensation the settlement was reached in 1994 that state taxpayers, basically out of the general fund, would pay DHHL, Department of Hawaiian Homelands, $600 million for basically using the land. Now that was supposed to take care of all issues from statehood until that time, 1994, which also includes Mauna Kea Access Road, which is now being disputed. Senator Kai Kahele brought this up and was wondering, how the compensation has gone, what's been compensated for the use of this, and so on and so forth. And so Act 14 was signed into law in 1994, I believe, and I'm going to give some information on that, some direct sources. So check the description as well for these sources. So if you don't want to listen to me go on and on about this, I'd be happy just for you to research this yourself. I always recommend that people do their own research. So the compensation was given over 20 years time, from 1994 to 2014. The State General Fund was supposed to compensate DHHL in the amount of $30 million a year. That was finished. And let me see if I can show you that information. Department of Hawaiian Homelands. This is at, you can see this link right here, dhhl.hawaii.gov. So some of you may know the $600 million court settlement from the early 1990s infuses DHHL with $30 million annually. This is set to expire in 2014. As a result of this ruling, the availability of general funds to DHHL comes at a time when the department is diligently working to increase its revenue streams to continue its mission of returning Native Hawaiians to the Aina. So that expired in 2014, but yet we are still paying. I showed in that video that I just gave a link to. I'm going to put this in the description as well. And I'll put a short link on the film so you don't actually have to go to the description if you don't want to. But I presented here that, tens of millions of dollars a year are going out of the state general fund into DHHL and OHA's funds, their budgets. So even after 2014, after the settlement had been paid for in full by paying $30 million a year to the fund, out of the state general fund by all taxpayers, after that, state taxpayers still pay out of our general fund into the budgets of DHHL and OHA in the amount of tens of millions of dollars a year even though the settlement has been paid for. So my presentation was, why don't we stop paying what we're not obligated to pay anymore? You know, they're saying, we want more, we want more, we want more. That's what the protesters are saying. They've already gotten everything that has been agreed to, and then some, as far as I'm concerned. And the money is certainly not part of it. They're saying, well, we want the money that's coming in, but we also want these lands to be transferred to us. So there's supposed to be like 1,328 acres that is in some sort of negotiation. Now, it will be returned to DHHL. That's what they're saying, that this will be taken from state or federal land banks and given to DHHL. That's already in the works. Nobody else is using it. It's basically unclaimed land, although it's been claimed. It's just not completed in the transfer process. So, I mean, they're going to get that too. They've already gotten $600 million, plus they're getting tens of millions of dollars every year from, so like even grandma whatever from Wisconsin who's never been to Hawaii, knows nobody in Hawaii, will never come to Hawaii, out of her taxes, she pays into the federal government. They send those taxes from grandma Wichita or whatever to DHHL budgets or OHA's budgets. Even though that lady over in Wisconsin who's paying these taxes will never see any benefits. She'll never come to Hawaii. She'll never use these roads. She'll never use this land. She'll never enjoy the benefits, yet she's still paying for it. I think that's wrong. I think it's immoral, and it's probably illegal. It's most certainly illegal, according to Amendment 14, the 14th Amendment, that is, of the U.S. Constitution, to benefit a certain race. I mean, we're all created equal. We all get equal rights under the law. None of us get special treatment according to our race. I mean, just read the 14th Amendment. So DHHL and OHA, in my opinion, is illegal, just in its nature. I mean, to benefit one race over another is illegal. So this is what I wrote to somebody who invited me to the the University of Hawaii Board of Regents meeting about this subject on the 6th of November. I won't be able to make it. I'll be with my kids that day. I've already got a plan, an obligation to them. So what I said was, and since this may be presented, this is what the person said to me in the email. I'm not going to reveal her name. Whether she presents it or not, I'm not sure, but I was invited to present it. I'm not going to be there. So I wanted to make a couple of elaborations on what I presented before, because even though it was accurate, it was not complete. So what I wanted to say was, so for reference, the only thing that I can really add is that the compensation that is required for the land transfers according to Act 14 in 1995, it was actually 94, I believe, so I miswrote that. It was 1994. DHHL was given a payment of $600 million as payment for the lands used for public and government usage. On top of that, between OHA and DHHL, tens of millions of dollars has been paid each year for decades. Furthermore, in regards to DHHL, Article 12, Section 4 says that lands are to be used for both Native Hawaiians and the public. Never one or the other, but for both. And this is Article 12, Section 4, right here. And I'll read this because this is very important. Section 4 of Article 12 says the lands granted to the state of Hawaii by Section 5B of the Commission Act and pursuant to Article 16, Section 7 of the state constitution, excluding therefrom lands defined as available lands by Section 203 of the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act 1920, as amended, shall be held by the state as public trust for Native Hawaiians and the general public. I believe that amendment was November 7th, 1978. There's the link there that will also be in the description. And then this shows who controls the DOT. This is something stated and defined well by the Attorney General's Office, DHHL, and DOT. So I'll go to that really quick just so that we can read over this. I just want to make sure this is very clear. Who owns the road? Mauna Kea Access Road is under the control and jurisdiction of DOT pursuant to HRS 26-19 and HRS Chapter 264. DOT has control and jurisdiction over all state highways, and Mauna Kea Access Road is designated to DOT's state highway system as Route 210. This includes any portions of the road that cross over DHHL land. Quote, the state has controlled and maintained Mauna Kea Access Road since it became part of the highway systems in 2018, said DOT Deputy Director Ed Sniffen. Prior to that time, sections of the road situated on Hawaiian homelands were maintained by the County of Hawaii pursuant to the Memorandum of Agreement, MOA, between DHHL and the County of Hawaii. Beneficiaries of the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act 1920 do not own Mauna Kea Access Road. Act 14 of 1995, so I was right, it was 1995, not 1994. So Act 14, 1995 resolved all claims concerning the use of Hawaiian homelands for public roads and highways built before and after statehood. In response to concerns that some compensation remains outstanding, DHHL and Department of Land and Natural Resources, DLNR, have been working together to evaluate the terms of compensation and confirm that it has been made in full. This process, however, does not alter the fact that all claims regarding the use of roads and highways crossing DHHL lands have been resolved. Act 14 is a historic piece of legislation, said Hawaiian Homes Commission Chair William Ilea Jr. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I just killed that one. Have a hell of a time with some of these names. Anyway, he says, quote, it resolved long-standing claims associated with the use of Hawaiian homelands. We remain committed to seeing the completion of a few of the remaining items under Act 14, including ensuring compensation for the use of the roads and highways crossing DHHL lands has been received in full. The state is reviewing compensation issues relating to the use of Hawaiian homelands for public roads and highways and will ensure that they have been addressed, State Attorney General Claire E. Connors. The public is reminded that Mauna Kea Access Road is a public road controlled by DOT and the current blockade is unlawful. At this time, DOT has restricted access to Mauna Kea Access Road to preserve public health and safety and to carry out its responsibilities under HRS Chapter 264. So, I mean, to make that very clear, regardless of all this other history, it's already resolved. DHHL, which is the land trust overseer, agrees, DOT agrees, County of Hawaii agrees, the MOA was clear and stated long before this. So as far as anything else is concerned, I'll put a few links. Let me just go to those. Oh, shoot. Who Owns Crown Lands? So this is a good book that I read. It does have some points of view that I don't 100% agree with, but the information in this and the research in this is very, very good. So I recommend this. Who Owns the Crown Lands of Hawaii by John M. Van Dyke. And then there is another, I'm pretty sure I've got it up here somewhere. Anyway, while I find that, I did want to say, oh yeah, here we go. This one is a good book, and it talks about the same subjects. How to Demolish Racism, Lessons from the State of Hawaii. A lot of the information that I got about the ceded lands and the 20% and all of this and that. Now I've defined these budgets. The ceded lands payments are separate from the state general fund payments. They're also separate from the federal general fund payments and from the other payments. It is completely unique. The ceded land payments and part of that budget is unique from the other parts. But it explains it in this one as well, this How to Demolish Racism. The author is Michael Haas, Haas. Yeah, that's the only other one. And then I wanted to talk about electryan.org. This is my website. I was thinking about running for county council. I haven't decided yet. Still sort of thinking about it. Like I say, I don't have a law degree, but I'm very meticulous in research. I like to, like I corrected some things that I had partially right or, vaguely right in my last video, but I wanted to go deeper, so I presented this video. So I'm pretty meticulous, even though I'm not a lawyer. I know a lot of politicians in this state aren't lawyers. They aren't educated on law. I would prefer to be educated on the law more than I am now if I wanted to run. So that's why I'm not committed yet. I want to sort through the issues that I want to work on, and I want to know them well enough before I run. But this website is not a campaign website as of right now. Right now, this website is dedicated to inspiring others. So elect Ryan. Ryan is an acronym for Renew Your Activist Nature. This is to inspire others at this point, to give information, to share information, and just, announce different activist causes and protests. Like on the, let me bring it up here, on December 14th, 2019, we're going to be having a pro-Second Amendment rally on the state capitol from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I just wanted to bring this up. And this is what this website's for currently. It's not necessarily a campaign at this point. I've announced that very clearly on the website, that I am not running yet. I am not collecting donations. I have not set up a nonprofit. I've not entered any races. But this rally, so if you go to electryan.org, you can look this up. Hawaii deserves Second Amendment rights. Rally at the state capitol, December 14th, 2019, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And Governor Iggy signed 2 anti-gun bills in 2019. So check these out. I've listed them up here. Senate Bill 600 and Senate Bill 1466 were both signed into law by Governor Iggy. So I just wanted to give the information that I'm finding here to inspire others who may run. I've got a few people who have dedicated themselves to running in Hawaii. So we'll see, how that works out. And I'm here to support people who do, who believe in liberty and who want to end racism. I'm all about it, and I'm here for you. So let me know how I can help. Check us out at disruptarian.com as well for good, funky reggae and news announcements and politics. Hope to see you there. Mahalo.